Breaking news. A new study reveals that Hillary Clinton received almost 1 million illegal votes from non-citizens. Yesterday we posted a video with Obama confirming that non-citizens and illegal immigrants who voted for the past elections for U.S. president would not be viewed as doing something criminal. In other words, he says, go ahead, you won't get into trouble. You can go ahead and vote and you won't get into trouble. Whereas voting is only for U.S. citizens. Not even legal aliens can vote. So we see that Obama made it easy for illegal immigrants, illegal aliens to vote for this election. Even dead people for many, many years voted, as we noticed. So there was a tremendous amount of voter fraud that went on. And previous studies found that most of these illegals who voted for the Democratic Party. In other words, for Hillary Clinton to become president. Now, Hillary Clinton received, as we said, more than 800,000 illegal votes from non-citizens on November 8th. This is according to an independent academic study supportive of President Trump's accusations of massive nationwide voter fraud. Political scientist Jesse Richmond of Old Dominion University in Virginia worked with academic colleagues, and they produced groundbreaking research on illegal non-citizen voting. He published his results yesterday that back up President Trump's claims, and he proves the mainstream media and the Democratic establishment are lying, yet again. Based on national polling by a consortium of universities, Richmond's report said that 6.4% of the 20 million adult non-citizen residents in the U.S. voted in November. He extrapolated that the percentage means Hillary received at least 834,381 illegal votes. According to Richmond, 81% of illegal non-citizens voted for Hillary. 81%. Richmond says, quote, is it plausible that non-citizens' votes added to Clinton's margin? Yes, end quote. Washington Times reports, the finding is significant. It's important because it means non-citizens may have helped Hillary Clinton carry a state or finish better than she otherwise would have. President Trump's accusation to congressional leaders this week, reported by the Washington Post, has sent the issue skyward. He was referring to all types of fraud, such as dead people voting or multiple votes for the same person. But the thrust of his estimate appears to be that illegal immigrants and non-citizens carried the popular vote. So he returned to the issue published Thursday in Philadelphia, that's where he spoke to congressional Republicans mapping this year's legislative calendar. President Trump said, quote, we also need to keep the ballot box safe from illegal voting. And believe me, you take a look at what's registering, folks, take a look at what's registering. We are going to protect the integrity of the ballot box, and we are going to defend the votes of the American citizens. So important, end quote. And then we have to look again at the mainstream media lies. We just keep on coming every single day. Mainstream media reacted to Trump's assertion with derision. Liberal pundits said there's no evidence of fraud. CNN Jake Tapper called it, quote, a stunning allegation for which the White House is providing no evidence. And there is a reason they are providing no evidence. There is no evidence because it's not true. That's what Tapper said, end quote. Esquire.com said, quote, the most bizarre lie of Donald Trump's presidency so far is his claim of widespread voter fraud in an election that he won, end quote. Well, he would have won even bigger. The article says again, but conservative activists say liberal media are ignoring evidence that non-citizen voting is illegal and thus fraud. They say the Justice Department in the Obama administration was more concerned with preventing states from cleansing rosters of dead and inactive voters than in mounting investigation to fraud. Tom Fitton, who heads the conservative watchdog group Judicial Watch, said, Most voters are never asked for voter ID. This is absurd. Most voters are never asked for voter ID. That's criminal. Most voters never ask for voter ID, so it is dishonest to suggest that with the tens of millions of illegal and legal aliens here, there is no voter fraud. If the key Old Dominion study results in the 2008 election are applied to 2016, 1.41 million aliens may have voted illegally, with 1.13 million voting for Democrats. End quote. Mr. Fitton said, end quote, a federal voter fraud investigation is long overdue. It would be a simple matter of analyzing voter registration databases against federal databases of aliens and deceased individuals. Why is the left, that is the liberals and the Democrats, why is the left afraid to even ask these questions? The jig is up, end quote. Of course it's up. Well, let the conservatives do this. There does not appear to be any concerted post-election effort by states to take on the daunting task of checking voter rolls and ballots to verify citizenship. In some states, no ID is required to register and vote. This is absurd. Really, it's criminal. The United States, the leading country of the world, should have proper, secure, democratic systems of voting. They should, of course, have ID checking and check that idea. That ID, in other words, cross-check it with voter rolls and citizen rolls. In the absence of detailed accounting, the only scientific way to make an estimate is by post-vote polling. Richmond relies on one-of-a-kind poll, the Cooperative Congressional Election Survey. Every 2 years, a consortium of 28 universities produces a detailed report on voters and their views based on polling by YouGov. Tucked inside the lengthy questionnaire is a question on citizenship status. A significant number of respondents anonymously acknowledged they were not citizens when they voted. Right? I'm going to say that again. A huge number of respondents anonymously acknowledged they were not citizens when they voted. That means they were illegally voting, because only citizens may vote in the United States. Just like in every other country in the world. Only citizens of the country can vote. 3 professors at Old Dominion University, Mr. Richmond, Gulsham Chatta, and David C. Ernest, took these answers, did further research, and extrapolated that of the 19.4 million, that's almost 20 million, estimate of adult non-citizens, about 620,000 were illegally registered to vote in the 2008 presidential election. That's bizarre. Using another measuring tool, they said, the actual number of non-citizen voters could be as low as 38,000, as high as almost 3 million, 2.8 million. The U.S. Census Bureau reported 2012 that there are 22 million, this is a bizarre number, I can't believe this, 22 million non-citizens in the country. Okay, they're not citizens, they may be alien residents. The group comprises illegal immigrants and people in the U.S. legally on a visa or permanent resident green card. Of this 22 million, 20 million were 18 or older, the U.S. government voting age requirement. Conservatives have long suspected that Democrats are tactically encouraging illegal immigrants to vote. This is illegal. This is illegal. Okay? You cannot encourage illegal immigrants to vote, but they're doing it. The Democrats are doing it. Liberal leaders have created sanctuary cities across the nation that refuse to work with federal immigration enforcement authorities. Okay? We did many videos yesterday and today concerning that. That's why the DHS top leaders have resigned. They were Obama positions. Illegal democratic tactics. President Obama was asked during the campaign last year if illegal immigrants had anything to fear from federal authorities if they voted in the presidential race. He was asked on a Latino YouTube channel, quote, "Many of the millennials, dreamers, undocumented citizens, and I call them citizens because they contribute to this country, are fearful of voting. So if I vote, Will immigration know where I live? Will they come for my family and deport us? End quote. And Mr. Obama answered. Listen to this. Mr. Obama, President Obama answered, quote, "Not true. And the reason is, first of all, when you vote, you are a citizen yourself." Okay, what is the logic behind that? I don't understand how he comes back. Mr. Obama is a lawyer. He knows the law. How could he come out saying something like that? He says, not true. And the reason is, first of all, when you vote, you are a citizen yourself. Well, we just said that you can vote without an ID, and they don't know if you're a citizen or not. So a lot of illegals have been voting. And he goes on to say, quote, "And there is not a situation where the voting rolls somehow are transferred over and people start investigating, etc. The sanctity of the vote is strictly confidential." So in other words, he's saying they can't investigate you. That's what the situation is with the voting rolls. They can't investigate. It's confidential. No one's going to bother to examine anything. So some conservatives interpreted Obama's answer as a go-ahead signal with his questionable assertion that voter rolls are off limits to federal investigators. Well, this is what they have to investigate, the voter rolls. WikiLeaks' dump of Clinton campaign manager John Podesta's emails contained one message on directing immigrants to vote. He said immigrants should obtain driver licenses and then attest at a polling place that they are U.S. citizens. You see, get around that. Get yourself a driver's license and go and say, yeah, I'm a U.S. citizen. I can vote. Here's my driver's license. Well, the driver's license doesn't say if you're a citizen or not. Okay, this is an article by Baxter Dimitri, and it's on Your Newswire.